I have an ongoing series where I'm beating Terraria's Get Fixed Boy seed with only sentry weapons. This is the third video in the series, and it will finally end Prehardmode. I have two big rules. 1. Only sentries. I can only deal damage with weapons classified by sentries by the Wikipedia. I did allow some Shield of Cthulhu / Slimy Saddle tomfoolery against normal enemies to make this a little bit more convenient, but not against bosses. 2. If I happen to accidentally deal damage to a boss with a mount or dash, or whatever, it's a minuscule amount of damage when compared to the godlike levels of health bosses have in legendary mode. This video is meant to be as if it were in the same video as the previous two videos. If you haven't seen them, then maybe it will be confusing. I don't know, I really haven't played tested this video yet. The Houndius Studius is your basic sentry weapon. It shoots. The only thing special is that it does damage that is maybe better than the Flame Burst if you're attacking a single target. There's a reason why the Wall of Flesh deserved its own 15 to 20 minute video. There is a very specific line in my launched flails video that will forever accurately describe my feelings towards this part in game progression. We are at the worst part of this absolute banger of a game. I hate Wall of Flesh preparation. Building a Wall of Flesh arena is sometimes the part of the game where I consider giving up and playing a game that would provide a more enjoyable experience. I could go for the classic water walking potions, which most times I do, but this is a I beat Terraria with only insert weapon subclass here video. It's not like I'm gonna triumph over a wall with over 28,000 health with my dinky little peepers. If I'm going to progress, it's going to be through sweat strats with a side of cheese. But we're not at that part of the video yet, just give it like 4 minutes. I'm making the arena out of ashwood platforms because ashwood is abundant in this world, and it doesn't burn when lava falls onto it. But it doesn't really matter because of how much I'm dying. It is so bad that I made several respawn rooms across the underworld so I can just make a little bit more progress on the arena. Sometimes I don't even want to deal with death, so I just reload. Sentries were not intended to be a main source of damage, and it's worse when contact damage is increased by about 77%. That's something that exists. But you want to know what makes me the most angry? It is something that I call the worst part of the best game in existence. 15-second respawn timer. What? I had to rewrite this part of the script so that it doesn't take up 10 minutes of this video. TLDR, it's only necessary for a respawn timer to exist while a boss is despawning or you die in multiplayer while a boss is still active. I plead to Relogic to do what the Calamity mod does and reduce the timer to 3 seconds when a boss isn't active. Or pull a Minecraft and let the player click respawn whenever they're ready. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad at the game, but I die a lot in these challenges. I just want a lick of mercy. The Wall of Flesh is similar to the honey blocks where it drank 2 gallons of coffee. The wall gets really fast as its health lowers. In order to combat this, I begin golfing. I am still shocked that this sport still exists. If you get enough golf points, you can get a golf cart, which goes pretty fast. Not really, but enough to outrun the wall for most of the fight. I place a couple golf cup things at the bottom of my Heckavator and hit a golf ball from the top to get giga points. Fun. I get enough points to buy the golf cart keys, and this time it doesn't smell like a public restroom. It smells like cologne. Anyways, I finished the Wall of Flesh arena off camera, and just like every school assignment I've ever done, it's not very good, but it exists. I make pylon housing on the left side of the world, so I have as much time as possible to beat the Wall of Flesh. This is why I made the world large. The larger the world, the longer it takes for the wall to reach the other side. I then break as many queen bee larvae as I can so that they don't do that during the Wall of Flesh fight, but I got bored and gave up. I'm kinda tempted to see how I do with my current setup, so farewell, Kyle the Guide. The Wall of Flesh has a few legendary mode changes. His eyes and mouth are tiny, which is very inconvenient, and the wall took notes from my grueling Skeletron fight and summons its own wall-phasing ball minions. You can't even kill the fireballs. You are forced to deal with Terraria and JSeb at the same time. I'm gonna need to prepare far more than I ever had before. Wait, that rhymes. So I collect a lot of amber and water leaf and crafted potions I would never force anyone to craft. It's time to fish. Apparently Relogic thought it would be a great idea to lock very good potions behind the most boring mechanic a game could add. Stardew Valley does fishing the good way. Terraria makes it waiting simulator, which I'm actually not that opposed to. I'm just 15-second respawn timer. Guys, I have an idea. Never mind. Guys, I have another idea. Never mind. While I'm fishing, I come up with a rather intriguing idea. 199 bees. I'm going to use this strategy in order to prevent fire imps from spawning and hopefully still do enough damage to kill the wall, but a small issue rises when bees despawn off screen. So I'm going to have to make a long tunnel at the top of the arena so the bees will be on my screen throughout the entire underworld, making it impossible for them to despawn. But another small issue rises when it makes me have to build another bridge across the entire underworld. I actually have to make a ceiling to a Wall of Flesh arena, which means a lot of more digging and dying, placing blocks, dying, and even more digging. It was going to be unfun and tedious, and I knew it was going to be not fun and tedious, so I just didn't record any of it. Whenever I choose not to record anything, I usually record a little bit of it so that I have some footage to show, but I just didn't do that here. If you want to accuse me of cheating, then yeah, sort of. The 15-second respawn timer finally got to me, and then I ended up using a spore sack to stop enemies from putting me back to the death screen. So that one rule about using damaging accessories was broken here, but I honestly don't care. I'm only using it as a tool to finish the arena faster. Rest assured that I will not be using it against bosses. It's only for convenience and maintaining sanity. Once it's done, I place down the dummies and deploy the bees. Then I start the grind for beating 4 times base chips. For my first real attempt, I main 2-pair as I got trousers early on, and it levels decent. No, it doesn't. Similar to the Skeletron fight, it takes a long time to make progress. The Wall of Flesh is just the biggest middle finger to me, as it relies on the size of the world. I need to deal enough damage to it so it doesn't cook me once I reach the end of the arena. A good way to see how I'm doing is looking at the terrain. The outer thirds or fourths of the underworld is where the obsidian frat housing is, and then the closer you get to the middle, you'll find the usual ashwood biome followed by a large lake of lava. And finally, there's the plateau marking the middle of the underworld. I made it to the plateau while the wall was still above half health. Pretty discouraging that I made a giant arena for nothing. So let's procrastinate by watching Ashel spiff while fishing. Hello everybody, my name is really quiet, hold up. Hello everybody, my name is not Markiplier, and today I'm gonna fish for 5 hours straight, and I want the shell phone, which requires the PDA, which requires the fish finder, which requires 3 accessory from an angsty teen. We have a brand new REK, meaning that I fished up a radar. I also got the weather radio and the sextant, and I am still waiting on that fisherman's pocket guide, which let's see if we get that right now. Where is it? There's this new chest with some very epic potions we will be using for the Wall of Flesh battle. We also have 20 obsidian lockboxes to demonstrate how many crates I had to fish up just to get this bad boy. And I wanted this bad boy so I could fish up this bad boy much faster. The lava absorbent sponge, very good, very nice. I also ended up procrastinating so much that I got more wrath and rage potions than iron skin. I don't even need rage potions because its only purpose is to increase crit chance. And guess what sentries don't have? It don't do anything. And we also have a whole lot of water leaf. I don't know if I did that on camera. Yeah, that was like the past 6 hours of this playthrough was fishing and doing the random goblin evasions, which I swear is way more common, and I'm very angry. This playthrough went through a period of time where I just put off the wall fight and just stacked up on quest fish. If you ever plan to stack up on quest fish, make sure to put the quest fish outside of your inventory like a piggy bank, because the game won't allow you to catch another quest fish if one is already in your inventory. I just keep on doing fishing quests for the shell phone. In fact, I have an entire recording where I paused whenever I wasn't getting my quest rewards. I eventually did get the last piece of the fish finder, and therefore PDA, and therefore cell phone, and therefore shell phone. My inventory thanks me. There's also this 48-second recording where it's just me getting a golden fishing rod. That's it. You know, for a video about beating the Wall of Flesh, there's a surprising lack of beating the Wall of Flesh. I use the same exact strategy of maining 2-pair, but this time I get lucky with the cards dealt to me. My extreme intellect remembers that mana potions only reduce magic damage, not summon damage. That means I can simply spam sentries with no consequences. What is that? Looks like I forgot to patch that hole. Oops. The stupid... Gonna drink water. Next run I reforge. Next run I again main 2-pair, but this time I chose the checker deck. But it seems that the wall still has another party trick I haven't fully accounted for. A fourth and final small issue arises once I realize that bees cannot keep up with the wall's crippling energy drink addiction. I really cheated to build a tunnel that ended up amounting to nothing. Is what a realist would say. I would never be a realist. I'm an optimist spiff enjoyer. And I simply see this as a discovery of how to not beat the Wall of Flesh. But now what? Main 3 of a kind? Yeah, let's try that. I switched out my DST references for Dungeon Defender references, and had the thought that if I could pierce through 3 wall targets, then it would do enough damage to kill it. This wasn't an option before because NPC limiting, but I was always able to just leave 3 NPC slots open to allow the eyes to spawn. But in testing that, the top eye kept on going into the tunnel and killing the bees, and I suck. This fight just feels so possible, just like the Skeletron fight, but it just requires so much more precision. Making sure the ballistas shoot at the right time to pierce multiple eyes, and not getting balled or hungried or lasered or leeched or... It dawns on me. In order for me to beat the wall, I have to get good. No. No, I don't want to do that. I didn't do that for the Eater of Worlds. What if the wall eventually becomes too fast to pierce multiple targets? What if it actually is impossible? What if I'm actually bad at the game? This can't be the end of this run. There has to be another way. If anybody were to take anything away from this game's lore, it's that there isn't one. The name of Terraria literally comes from the word terrarium. This game is meant to be like having your own little world where you can dig, explore, fight, and build. I know how this game works, and I know how to read like 10% of its code maybe. If I was able to beat the Eater of Worlds in an instant, then I could definitely come up with a way to at least kill the wall of flesh quickly. Wait a burger flippin' second, how did I even get these sentries to function in the first place? I had to cheese the ever-loving heck out of the old one's army by exploiting how chests save items. It allowed me to put down infinity sentries, but only during the old one's event. Wait another burger flippin' second! I go onto T-Mod Loader, enable Fargo's mutant mod and cheat sheet. I quickly make a new arena and start the old ones. And would you look at that? I feel a rush of ideas and seemingly every emotion at the same time, yes, including that one, and potentially a new thumbnail and title. 1,000 sentries versus the wall of flesh. No. I knew this exploit existed and I've done it before, but it just never came to me while playing this playthrough. I was so caught up in trying new and zesty ideas that I forgot what caused my upbringing. Maining flush. This is just so absurd, dude. 650s. All you need is 650 sentries in order to kill the wall of flesh in the legendary mode. Oh my god. What the crap? Let's close this. Bro. Okay, this is way more effective. Probably because I have menacing on everything. Oh my, wait, God mode's still enabled. Hold on. Let's do that. Let's do that again. You can't touch me. Ah! Bruh. Ah! I just want to keep on doing this. Like, I'm never gonna do this again. This is so fun. Just get slapped by sentries. Sentries are so overpowered. It's just this wall of arrows. Dude, you could do this with any boss, I think. Just pile up a ton of Ethereal mana, start the event, then unleash heck onto whatever boss deserves it. All I need to do now is exactly that. Spend even more dozens of hours of my life grinding for enough Ethereal mana to kill the wall. But lucky for me, I think that's a pretty stupid idea. With Cheat Sheet, I was able to instantly get the mana, and yes, it is technically cheating, but I spent so long already trying to beat the boss, and I wasn't about to spend more to prove that you can do it legitimately. If you want to beat the Wall of Flesh this way in Legendary mode, that's great, man. You know, I honestly would kind of want to see that, actually. I did this on a separate world, so the original world still needs to have a wall slapped around. Guess who's mother flipping back, mother flippers. I already beat the Wall of Flesh, so that's going to mark the end of Prehard mode. And, you know, I feel humbled. All I can really say is, finally! Holy crap, that took forever. 21st century? More like billion... The next Only Sentries video will be mech related, maybe Plantera, maybe I only really planned Prehard mode. Anyways, thank you for tolerating my annoying pubescent voice for 20 minutes, and goodbye.
You can see the reflection of the phone through the switch.